was given another wig. Not going to use that one, though. It's not the right length. It is a good color, but it's not the right length. So I'm with these two, which are roughly the same length. Here's what I'm going to do. First, you get in the camera stand. There. There. Put you where you can see everything. Yeah, you can more or less see what's going on there. So, I've got a Sharpie, I've got a wig. I'm going to have to use chalk on the black one, but... So what we're going to do is mark these for where we're going to cut them. Try and get right down the center here. The black is going to be the base. Kind of centered. It's kind of a straight line. That's about as good as it's going to get, unfortunately. What's the halfway point of that? There's the middle. There's the edges. I'm trying to figure out where straight lines go in here. This is it. I have to cut this into strips to make stripes on the top of her head. Cut them all into little V's. Wondering how many stripes to do. I'm thinking 12 pieces. So this is going to be cut into 12 pieces, which means this one, the center is going to be held whole. There's going to be 12 cuts in it to stitch these 12 pieces into. That's the plan. I'll get these marked out as best I can. And then I'll start cutting them. I'll show you when they're all marked out. And I'll start cutting. This one is marked and is going to be cut up into several pieces. This one, that center ring there, that circle, is going to stay attached, which means it's going to basically be a big hairy spider. Beautiful. Okay, I'll cut these, lay them out, and show you what they'll look like. It's going to be an interesting project. Okay, now we're actually getting somewhere. So, cut this out, split, back to the center. And yeah, it looks like a big hairy spider. But, yeah, it's actually making some progress. So each split between here is going to be filled with a wedge out of this one. I still got to cut this one. And they're going to be stitched in together. So I'm going to lay this on top of the head up there and see what it looks like. Alright, so it's an absolute mess. I've got a pin holding it in place right now. Eventually it's going to be stitched, but I don't think it's going to look too bad. Gonna have the purple stripes in between all the black all the way along and around. I just got to cut that one up first and then start stitching them. So I'll get on that and I'll show you the next, the next point where I'm making progress. Right, in order to make things easier and keep these in order, cut it in half. I'm going to cut off each piece individually, stitch them in place individually, just to keep everything in the right spot all the way along. So as you see, it's not just a dome. There's various different stretches in different areas. Yeah. So cut the wedges out and stitch them in one by one. And, I'll let you know how that goes. Given the fact that I am not a fan of hand sewing, see this first wedge where it's going to go in here? Given the fact I am not a fan of hand sewing, I'm going to have to hand stitch the edge of this down to the head of the doll once it's completed. I've decided, rather than racking my knuckles and cramping up my hands with doing this 12 fucking times, break out my secret weapon. Hockey tape. I'll show you how this first one goes. That went surprisingly well. Now let's flip it over and see what happens. I think it's not going to be striped so much as a blend of the two colors mixed together, which ain't bad. Okay, I'll keep going on that and show you when I can put it on the doll. Seemed to be working, but what seems it turns out ain't. It sticks very well to the slightly more expensive black wig, but the tape does not adhere to the slightly less expensive purple wig. So I'm going to have to hand stitch it. Yep, this is going to suck. Show you when I make some progress. Oh, my hands are cramped and shaking, and my eyes are starting to blur even with the glasses. But the first seam is in. It's ugly as shit. One down, 23 more to go. Tell you what, I'll show you the progress when I actually make some progress. I'll keep considering different ways of doing this other than hand stitching it if there's anything that happens to come up. If I had my zigzag machine, hey, that'd be great, I could do it. But I don't, so I can't. Alright. This should do it for today. Talk to you next time.